and I know I need you now. So I run to the Father, I fall into grace. I'm done with the hiding, no reason to wait. My heart needs a surgeon, my soul needs a friend. So I run to the Father again and again. I run to the Father, I fall into grace. I'm done with the hiding, no reason to wait. My heart found a surgeon, my soul found a friend. I run to the Father again and again and again and again. Oh, 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 oh.
So I just want to read those words in that chorus. So when we sing it, that chorus, there's just so much hope. And it says, as I run to the Father, I fall into grace. I'm done with the hiding, no reason to wait. My heart found a surgeon. My soul needs a friend. So I'll run to the Father again and again and again. Because we know we can run to him and he'll always be there ready and waiting. There's nothing that we could do that could ever separate us from him, from his love, from his mercy, from his grace. He is a good God. And God, right now we just worship you. Let's sing that to him.
Sing that bridge again. My heart has been in your sights long before my first breath, running into your arms is running to life from death. I feel this rush deep in my chest. Mercy is calling out. Just as I am, you pull me in. I know I need you now.
Sing that chorus together.
I run to the Father, I fall into grace. I'm done with the hiding, no reason to wait. My heart needs a surgeon, my soul needs a friend. So I run to the Father again and again. I run to the Father, I fall into grace. I'm done with the hiding, no reason to wait. My heart found a surgeon, my soul found a friend. So I run to the Father again and again and again and again. Oh, 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 oh.
Be seated. When morning came, all the chief priests and the elders of the people conferred together against Jesus in order to bring about his death. They bound him, led him away, and handed him over to Pilate, the governor. When Judas, his betrayer, saw that Jesus was condemned, he repented and brought back the 30 pieces of silver to the chief priests and the elders. He said, "I have sinned by betraying innocent blood." But they said, "What is that to us? See to it yourself." Throwing down the pieces of silver in the temple, he departed, and he went and hanged himself. But the chief priests, taking the pieces of silver, said, "It is not lawful to put them into the treasury, since they are blood money." After conferring together, they used them to buy the potter's field as a place to bury foreigners. For this reason, that field has been called the field of blood to this day. Then was fulfilled what had been spoken through the prophet Jeremiah. And they took the 30 pieces of silver, the price of the one on whom a price had been set, on whom some of the people of Israel had set a price, and they gave them for the potter's field, as the Lord commanded me. Now Jesus stood before the governor, and the governor asked him, "Are you the king of the Jews?" Jesus said, "You say so." But when he was accused by the chief priests and the elders, he did not answer. Then Pilate said to him, "Do you not hear how many accusations they make against you?" But he gave him no answer, not even to a single charge, so that the governor was greatly amazed. Now, at the festival, the governor was accustomed to release a prisoner for the crowd, anyone whom they wanted. At that time, they had a notorious prisoner called Jesus Barabbas. So after they had gathered, Pilate said to them, "Whom do you want me to release for you? Jesus Barabbas, or Jesus, who is called the Messiah?" For he realized that it was out of jealousy that they had handed him over. While he was sitting on the judgment seat, his wife sent word to him, "Have nothing to do with that innocent man, for today I have suffered a great deal because of a dream about him." Now, the chief priests and the elders persuaded the crowd to ask for Barabbas and to have Jesus killed. The governor again said to them, "Which of the two do you want me to release for you?" And they said, "Barabbas." Pilate said to them, "Then what should I do with Jesus, who is called the Messiah?" All of them said, "Let him be crucified." Then he asked, "Why? What evil has he done?" But they shouted all the more, "Let him be crucified." So when Pilate saw that he could do nothing, but rather that a riot was beginning, he took some water and washed his hands before the crowd, saying, "I am innocent of this man's blood. See to it yourselves." Then the people as a whole answered, "His blood be on us and our children." So he released Barabbas for them. And after flogging Jesus, he handed him over to be crucified.
Were you there when they crucified my Lord? Were you there when they crucified my Lord? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they crucified my Lord?
Then the soldiers of the governor took Jesus into the governor's headquarters, and they gathered at the whole cohort around him. They stripped him and put a scarlet robe on him, and after twisting some thorns into a crown, they put it on his head. They put a reed in his right hand and knelt before him and mocked him, saying, "Hail, King of the Jews!" They spat on him and took the reed and struck him on the head. After mocking him, they stripped him of the robe and put his own clothes on him. Then they led him away to crucify him. As they went out, they came upon a man from Cyrene named Simon. They compelled this man to carry his cross, and when they came to the place called Golgotha, which means place of a skull, they offered him wine to drink mixed with gall. But when he tasted it, he would not drink it. And when they had crucified him, they divided his clothes among themselves, casting lots. Then they sat down there and kept watch over him. Over his head, they put the charge against him, which read, "This is Jesus, the King of the Jews." Then 2 bandits were crucified with him, one on his right and one on his left. Those who passed by derided him, shaking their heads and saying, "You who would destroy the temple and build it in 3 days, save yourself. If you are the Son of God, come down from the cross." In the same way, the chief priests also, along with the scribes and elders, were mocking him, saying, "He saved others. He cannot save himself. He is the King of Israel. Let him come down from the cross now, and we will believe in him. He trusts in God. Let God deliver him now, if he wants to. For he said, 'I am God's son.'" The bandits who were crucified with him also taunted him in the same way.
Were you there when they nailed him to the tree? Were you there when they nailed him to the tree? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, Were you there when they nailed him to the tree?
And about 3 o'clock, Jesus cried with a loud voice, "Eli, Eli, lema sabachthani." That is, my God, why have you forsaken me?" When some of the bystanders heard it, they said, "This man is calling for Elijah." At once, one of them ran and got a sponge, filled it with sour wine, put it on a stick, and gave it to him to drink. But the others said, "Wait, let us see whether Elijah will come to save him." Then Jesus cried again with a loud voice and breathed his last. At that moment, the curtain of the temple was torn in two, from top to bottom. The earth shook and the rocks were split. The tombs were open, and many bodies of the saints who had fallen asleep were raised. After his resurrection, they came out of the tombs and entered the holy city and appeared to many. Now, when the centurion and those with him who were keeping watch over Jesus saw the earthquake and what took place, they were terrified and said, "Truly, this man was God's son." Many women were also there, looking on from a distance. They had followed Jesus from Galilee and had provided for him. Among them were Mary Magdalene and Mary, the mother of James and Joseph, and the mother of the sons of Zebedee. When it was evening, there came a rich man from Arimathea named Joseph, who was also a disciple of Jesus. He went to Pilate and asked for the body of Jesus. Then Pilate ordered it to be given to him. So Joseph took the body and wrapped it in a clean linen cloth and laid it in his own new tomb, which he had hewn in the rock. He then rolled a great stone to the door of the tomb and went away. Mary Magdalene and the other Mary were there, sitting opposite the tomb.
Were you there when they laid him in the tomb? Were you there when they laid him in the tomb? Sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they laid him in the tomb?
The last 3 nights, I've had these weird nightmares. 2 nights ago, I dreamt that I was in Kenya, and I needed to come back to the United States just abruptly, out of nowhere. And I had minutes to pack my bags, and I was in this house, and my stuff was everywhere. And by the time the van needed to leave to the airport, I wasn't ready. My bags weren't packed. And so I had to take a cab to the airport. And in my dream, I'm looking for my gate, and I'm just running frantically from place to place, from one end of the airport to the other, and I cannot find my gate. And I woke up in the middle of the night just sweating, and my heart was racing, and I just felt like I had failed at finding my gate. The next night, I dreamt that Susie was house sitting, was pet sitting a snake. It was a yellow snake. It had a yellow face, a lot like the one in the Jungle Book. And I dreamt that I was brushing my teeth, and I came out to the bedroom, and she was playing with the snake, and I was like, that's not going to happen. So I went back to the restroom. When I came back, Susie had fallen asleep. And so I woke her up, and I said, like, where's this snake? She said, I don't know. And so in my dream, we're racing frantically around the house, trying to find this snake. And I woke up again in the middle of the night, sweating. My heart was racing really fast because I couldn't find this snake. Again last night, I was at like a hospital parking garage that was somehow attached to an airport as well. I don't know. And I needed to get to the garage because my mom was waiting for me by the car, and I couldn't find this garage. Again, I kept going from one place of the hospital to the other, and I could not find it. And again, last night, after the 3rd night in a row, I woke up sweating, my heart racing. I have no clue what those dreams mean. But I can imagine that maybe that Friday night, the disciples knew what I was going through. I mean, they've been following Jesus for 3 years, and all of a sudden, all of that fell apart. And they had to figure out what happens next, and they can't figure it out. They just saw Jesus be crucified. They just saw Jesus lose his life. They just saw Jesus get put into this tomb. And nothing makes sense. And a lot of them go back to what they used to do. A lot of them begin to deny Jesus. And I can just picture them running frantically, trying to find something and not even knowing how. I think we've all had moments like that. Moments when we're searching, and we don't even know what we're searching for, but we know we need to find something, because where we are just doesn't make sense, because where we are just something isn't right. On that Friday night, the church went to bed searching. Everything they had ever known seemed to have just fallen apart in front of them. Now, we know this story. We know that on the third day, Jesus was raised from the dead, but the disciples had no clue. They had been told, but they really had no clue. I'll tell you, all 3 of those mornings that I've had that dream, the only thing that calmed my heart down was to spend time in prayer. Was for me to say, God, I can't make sense of this dream, but I need you right now. Maybe tonight is one of those nights when we say to God, I can't make sense of this, God, but we need you now. So what I want to do right now, our worship team's going to keep singing this song, Were You There? And I want to invite you to enter into a time of prayer in your seats, but also to spend time at our different prayer stations. Each of them are different. Each of them have something different, different things that you can reflect on. And as you go through these stations, I want to encourage you to spend some time saying, God, this where I am right now, what's happening, none of this makes sense, but I know that we need you now. May we draw close to God tonight. In the face of ultimate darkness, may we draw close to God tonight. Because I believe that even in that darkness, we will find God tonight. So I'm going to invite you at this time to spend some time in prayer, visit our prayer stations. Let us draw near to God.
you there when they crucified my Lord? Were you there when they crucified my Lord? Sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they crucified my Lord? Were you there when they nailed him to the tree? Were you there when they nailed him to the tree? Sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they nailed him to the tree? Sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they laid him in the tomb? Were you there?
Will you join me in this prayer? You'll find the response on the screen. Into your hands, O God, we commend your Son, Jesus. Into your hands, O God, we commend your Son, Jesus. As the nails pierced his hands and feet, may we be overcome by the pain on his face. Into your hands, O God, we commend your Son, Jesus. As the spear penetrates his side, may we feel the pain and agony that he felt. Into your hands, O God, we commend your Son, Jesus. As the sour wine is lifted to his mouth, may we too taste the bitterness of this moment. Into your hands, O God, we commend your Son, Jesus. As Jesus proclaims forgiveness and takes his final breath, may we not lose hope. Into your hands, O God, we commend your Son, Jesus. As the darkness comes and the whole earth shakes, may we find the power to stand tall. Into your hands, O God, we commend your Son, Jesus. And as your body is prepared for burial, and you are laid to rest in that empty tomb, may we find comfort through the tears. Into your hands, O God, we commend your Son, Jesus. Amen. May Jesus Christ, who for our sake became obedient unto death, even death on a cross, keep you and strengthen you now and forever. Amen.